making all things, creating all things. Um, Thank you for this quiet, still morning out here. Thank you for making making me so different, not like most. I cannot think that most things that I'm like most. Definitely, there may be others that have some similar, but definitely there are some things that make me set apart. So thank you for that, Father, that I don't want to be like the masses, and I want to conform to your image. I don't want to conform to the world. So I don't know. Just a rant, coffee talk, have some coffee before I go out here and get back to work on the cabin and do what I need to do. So thank you, Father, for this. It's cool. I got to work before it gets too hot. It just gets way, it was over 100 and something, 102, 103 yesterday or something. I was out working and in the sun just gets really hot. So should probably just go out work, but I need to, it's one of those days where I believe I might have woke up on the wrong side of the bed. So I need to shake this before I go to work here a little bit. So I thought I might be able to. Normally I don't come in here to do that, but yeah, I do. Well, sometimes I stay off here when I wake up on the wrong side of the bed. So I don't like that influence, because that does, I know I lean on the channel for subscribers that come in here regularly and frequent the channel. So appreciate, again, it's not going to be long before it gets real hot again today. I know it's hot throughout the U.S. So um, not a good day for me. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. So it's one of those days where I just can't, I mean, I'm not mad at anybody. I'm kind of pissed at myself. Everything's normally between me and the Father. It's not, people can do things to me. I'm not mad at anybody. I mean, it is what it is. That's why I don't have very many. I don't have very many, if really, I don't have anybody in my life at this point that's in a regular basis, anything like that. So I'm a loner. So, but that's all right. God does all things after his own counsel and his own pleasure, his own will. I was just thinking before I came on here, I was praying, talking to him as I always do. Always talking to him. I have a relationship with him. I'm not religious. Probably the most non-religious person you'll ever meet in your life. I rebuke all religions, their hypocrisy and, hey, mama girl, that little kitty out there. So, you're supposed to have a relationship with him, talk to him. He needs to not just hear you when you're having a good time or a bad time, right? Oh, help me, please, bring her back, bring him back. Why all the bad, and that's normally when people have a relationship, right? No, that's just, they talk to him whenever they just pray, they want things to change. So there's a word called orge, and God beats us and uses man and beast and his son and all things to whip the people that his elect, to try to get them to respond. The Greek word is called orge. I've taught on it. I took a mirrored lesson from Brother Jim's teaching, and I got kind of stuck on it for a minute, but I was already living it. I already know that it's turn your cheek. It's the same thing. It's give others a chance. Don't just beat the snot out of somebody, even yourself too. We should remember self. It's very important. Your body's a temple. So uh, either way, though, the word is orge, and God tests us. It's a test of our will, as I keep telling you, in our faith. And it's the meaning is quick to wrath, quick to anger, quick to judgment, quick to indignation. Do you snap? Do you go straight to, that he wants to test us and see if See if we'll respond, see if we'll be mad at the person who did it to us, or if we'll take it up with the Father. So all these people who did things to me in my life, they're going to have to answer to the Father for what they did. I find rest in that. So that's the Greek word orge. Hold on, let me go feed this mama kitty. She's probably hungry. She got a bunch of babies. She hadn't had them yet. Oh, we need up there. Got them a little quick. I'll give you some food. Hold on, mama girl. You hungry girl? You guys not yet. Not yet. Too early. You guys don't get food yet. You don't get food yet. Not you, buddy. You guys come outside and go fight. Come on. Go fight. You guys can eat a little bit. I'll feed you guys after I'm all done with the live stream. A little early for you boys. All right, so anyways, back where I was at with the lesson is if you go see Brother Jim Brown at Grace and Truth Ministries, you can see the lesson he did on the Greek word orge. And I have some live streams on the TikTok platform. If you want to go back and see Predestined, the FOR light channel, this is the number 4 light channel. There's a lot of hours live streaming. I did multiple lessons on it because it truly is a test for us to see if we'll respond. If God creates all things, then you can't get mad at somebody for doing something to you like that. You have the right to defend yourself, things like, I'm not talking about, it is just even like somebody maybe get you fired from work or things like, all things. It doesn't have to be physical. It's quick the wrath, quick the indignation, quick the judgment. Are we going to let God settle this for us? Are we going to be mad at all these people that did these horrible things to us in our life and go seek vengeance when that's not the testament we're under anymore? Maybe in the old law that was okay, but not under this testament. It's not. It's against the contract that he has with his bride. So we're not under the law of the flesh. It was fulfilled. So it's very spiritual. It's your body's a temple. So you need to make sure you're responding. And the Apostle Paul tells you to circumcise that flesh, that carnal nature, the idolater in us. Ephesians 6, he said, wrestle not against flesh and blood. Okay. The Apostle Paul was overcome. He was rebuked. He became from above, born from above. He knew the gospel, and they went out, and remember, they stoned him and threw him off a cliff. So when he wrote that book of Ephesians, and he tells us that our battles are not of the world, you can wrestle against these things that he tells you further in the verse that can be and rule your flesh. But is that who's ruling you, or is that voice inside you? The live stream was entitled neither God nor heaven is in the sky. That's not where God or heaven is at. And neither are your dead ancestors. They're not in the sky. Sky daddy God. That's why people mock religious ignorance, because that's most of the world. That's why I know that I'm set apart, that God set me apart, because my Father, he's not in the sky. He doesn't. When he says to make a new heaven and a new earth, that doesn't mean somewhere in the sky. That's not what he's talking about. So thank you, Father, for spiritual discernment. Even though I struggle, thank you for the things, the blessings you've given me, the gifts of again, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, powers, right? The rulers of the darkness of this world, spiritual wickedness in high places, right? Is that who's ruling you? Who rules you? This outside influence? That's right. Hallelujah. Thank you. It's the covenant with his bride when they'll be lifted. It's the gospel. He's the snare that lifts us out of here. I hope it was off a rock and not off sinking sand, brothers and sisters. Going to pull you up. Those with less will have more, and those with more will have less. You understand? These people got all this thing about this sky. That's not the gospel. That's not the gospel. Is to be lifted in from the darkness. The channel name, predestined for light, pro horizo, predestined. That is the gospel. He's pulled you from darkness into the light, like he was enslaved. He was entombed. They threw him in prison, but he was entombed in darkness, covered, and then Apocalypse, Revelation, that sky was rolled back, like the rock rolled back, and then he rose and the light came in, right? He is the orizo. He is the light. That's what he said. I am the way, the truth, and the light. That is the gospel right there. Are you hearing what I'm telling you? That is the gospel. Predestination is the gospel. It's to be pulled from darkness into the light. Jonah, that is the gospel. I've taught you. I pointed to the signs over and over. I've live streamed it. I put it out, showed you they do it. Tahonga Tonga, pump 14% more water into our upper atmosphere. Rose out of the belly, out of the whale. After 3 days, rose out of the ocean. Same thing, brothers and sisters. Jonah is the gospel, spewed out onto the belly of the land, the warning of the coming of the destruction of Nineveh in 40 days. Please, brothers and sisters, these are the tests. This is the covenant that Brother Ross is telling you about with his bride. It's not, we wrestle not against flesh and blood. That covenant is fulfilled. He paid that price in blood, the bride price, that little 5 shekels. Remember, that had to be paid. Post sacrifice, lamb marked with the blood at the top of your door, your post, the post at top of your doorway, your head of your door, your headdress, your address, postmarked. Get it? Post office, postmark, headdress, address. Are you understanding the sacrifice he made? And if you allow this covenant, well, you allow it, he pulls you to him, but then you're covered. The sin, remember, the sins of the world, brothers, sisters. Not everybody, because he's going to save all flesh, but definitely that covering, because we're not worthy. We're not worthy. That's why we're supposed to be washed clean, our garments spotless and white when he returns, washed in the blood of the Lamb. So what are you going to do? Go out and sacrifice a lamb and wash how are they going to get white in blood? Hallelujah. I hope you understand. Spiritual wickedness, spiritual battle, spiritual covenant with his bride. Turn your cheek. 7 times 70. The word is orge, brothers and sisters. The word is orge. Sin is leaven. Sin is anything in opposition to God. We fall to it all the time. It's our nature. It's why the Apostle Paul said, circumcise it, cut it off. Cut off the outer man. Cut off the outer woman. Cut off that flesh. Listen to that voice inside you. It'll tell you exactly what you need to do. How not to sin. Christ in you, brothers and sisters. God is not in the sky, and nor is heaven. But the whole world thinks heaven's somewhere in the sky, and so's their dead ancestors, and they believe in a ball gods almost. I think they're spinning on a ball. I can tell you that. So pretty ignorant, if you ask me, because they're not hovering, hados. They're not in the same narrow way is the word. They don't mirror what that word says. They make up their own shem. They go after self, idolatry, pornea. I've done it, guilty, but he says, come out of her, my people. Be not partakers in their unfruitful works of darkness. Thank you, Paul. These are things that we're not supposed to participate in. If we see it, they were supposed to use the light that he gave it to shine on that light, not rise above. I didn't say shine so you could rise above it. He said, don't hide that light behind a bushel. Don't hide the light that he gives you. You're supposed to go out and spread it. Think about the power of a light. Think about a 10 by 10 room. One match, you light that, you can move around a little bit. You could almost maybe barely make out the walls. You bring a second match, and especially at that time of ignition, boom, 2 matches and you can see the outer walls. Light always overtakes darkness, brothers and sisters. Don't you understand the power of it? The power that he gave you, and he told you not to hide it. Predestined for light, those he chose. He'll pull them from their sin, brothers and sisters. Don't you worry your little hearts, your little minds. You're not doing it. God makes people come to him. He said, if I did not call out to those wicked, cardinal, pornea, idolaters to seek after me, that not one of them would. Not one of them would. Not one of them. You understand? So, anyways, what a day already, you know. So I hope I could come in here, and like I said, that's what always makes me feel better, is the gospel, knowing that my treasure is not here on this earth. It's not. I don't, the Father leads me every day. I talk to him constantly. I'm not mad at anybody. I'm mad at myself. I'm my own worst enemy. I don't do what I want to get done all the time, and all these stupid dirt things that, you know, just can't let him rule my life. Got to make sure he's the one who's pray for his will. It's all I pray for. Taught that for more than a decade. It is the gospel of my predestined. That's how I used to teach it, was through the Lord's Prayer. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Question. Speaking of circumcision, I had my first child and son due in November. I know Jesus was not, I understand, cut off the flesh, but why did God make man that way? It's just creation, not perfect. Circumcision is not even anymore a thing, LM. You don't need to have your child circumcised. It has nothing to do. There's nothing in this flesh under this covenant. I hope you understand that. You've been here for a minute, and I appreciate your long time subscription to this channel. There's nothing literally physical anymore under this testament with the bride, this covenant that Brother Ross was talking about that he made under this New Testament of the old. Remember, for we wrestle not against flesh, cut it off, circumcise the flesh. It's not literal circumcision. Flesh, it's, yeah, you definitely please, when you have a chance, will you go over there and go over see Brother Jim at Grace and Truth Ministries on circumcision too. He'll teach you, I teach it in here. You go back and watch all. I've streamed hundreds, you know, hundreds of hours on circumcision. It's the spirit. How many times have you heard me to say, circumcise the flesh, cut off the outer woman, cut off the outer man? That's this testament that we're under. He paid that, so it's not even literal anymore. Nothing is literal. There's no literal sacrifice. There's no literal. It wasn't. It was a thing back in the day. You had to be grafted into the nation of Israel, to participate in their feast days, all their set apart days that they would, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the Feast of Ingathering, all those days, and you were from anywhere else in the world, and in the Bible, in the world, in the scripture, in the word, those, you know, Old Testament, it's talking about only the nations around the Mediterranean Sea. It's not talking about anywhere else. It's only talking about those nations around the Mediterranean Sea. When it says the beast out of the sea, it's talking about all that system of those nations that were around. This is why you need to study maps. Very important to go and have those. That's why I used to really push hard on getting all those study tools, so you can look and read this material and look on these maps, because these names of these countries and locations have changed. Not to protect the innocent, because the victor gets the spoils, brothers and sisters, but this is historical record that's in that book. Okay, a lot of people make it as a religion. The first 5 books are law. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy are 613 laws statutes and commandments, not some religion. But either way, if you were, this is under that, this is covered in those books, okay? Circumcision. But this is the old, and we're not under that testament, so don't worry about that. Okay? This is now the covenant with his bride that, again, wrestle not, and I can tell you that what he's saying is right. There's nothing more effective. No, there's nothing. And it isn't. It doesn't matter. And we're not under that. Okay, so, but I want you to understand, back in the day, to be grafted into the vine, he is the root, the fruit, all of it, but we are grafted, there were certain laws. You had to offer 2 turtle doves at the altar. You had to be water dipped, okay, which is not a baptism. There's no such thing as water baptism, but that's what they call baptism. And that you had to be circumcised physically of the male genitalia of the flesh. That was a thing, to be grafted into the nation of Israel. But we're not under that anymore. And I know, so don't for wrestle not against flesh and blood, please. Cool. Well, pray on it, LM, and go back to the word. Please read Ephesians 6 and 11. Read Ephesians 6 and 11 a few times. So you got a witness, and there's more, but you'll understand that this covenant with his bride is not in. And I have been circumcised. I didn't ask for that. I didn't even ask for this name, So I would check around, and you could see that we live in the modern world, and people do have access to water. It was more, I believe, of a cleanliness thing, but I've never seen anybody, and I'm a veteran, and so I've showered next to men, and been in jail or whatever, so I've never heard anybody, and have had friends that haven't been circumcised, and they're like, hey man, I'm having this issue because I'm not circumcised. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. So I don't know anybody now that would say, oh, well, because I didn't have my son circumcised, he has this issue with cleanliness or something. We live in the modern world. Sometimes people used to go long periods of time without showering, and that could be, an issue. If you did a little bit of maintenance to your body, that's just hygiene. You're not going to have any issues. So in this modern world, I don't know anybody. I've never heard anybody say, oh, because this, because I am or I'm not circumcised, I have these issues, and I know it might be too, and I don't want to go there because, oh, this woman looked at me, and because I'm not circumcised, she didn't want to be with me. Remember, and I don't mean to go there, guys. A woman doesn't care when it's hanging down. She wants to see it standing at attention. So does she care when it's standing at attention? She doesn't, it's gone. So I rest my case. Let's move on with that's a good way to just, yeah, but like I said, hopefully, LM, you heard what I just said. Hopefully that'll rest that case, right? Does she care when it's standing at attention? No, right? See, that's what I'm saying. So ask a woman. I don't think a woman will tell you otherwise. And I think if it's a man who's worried about, some kind of appearance, but to be honest with you, I don't mean, we'll just have this discussion and we'll move on. These young men shave themselves these days like women. And so do guys do, I guess, now too. That's a thing, like to shave, whoa, what a different time we live in where the dudes shave. I don't think I was talking to my son in history. I'm like, dude, I don't ever know any time in history where dudes shaved, Elijah. Sorry, buddy. I just don't, that just wasn't a thing. The dudes don't shave. I know that's still more vanity and whatnot, but whoa, what a different time we live in. So anyways, let's, like you said today, you could always do it later. How about that? I'm sure with the modern surgery, they can go in there and have you in and out in a minute. You get they do plastic surgery. So I'm sure you could walk away with a modern little ring or whatever. Bear, I don't know. So, but man will be coming women. Yeah. We saw that at the old we saw that at the Olympic Games, didn't we? You know, what a different time that we live in here today, where it's okay to just pervert. That's a Greek or the Hebrew word froward. That means to twist or to change or to pervert, you know, God's creation by, you know, God created one race, and that's the human race, man and woman. So that's it. I don't know what all this other stuff is. It's just it's a twisting, and it's a changing, it's a frowarding, it's a perversion of the creation. Hey, cats, you're going to stay inside all day. If you dart in that door again, you're not a racehorse. You're a dog. You can't come in. You are like a stinking little Sherman tank. You'll knock anything over. Sorry, my puppy, he's a little bit of a problem. He's a dingo. He's quarter dingo, so he wants to always be, yeah, he's a good boy. So you can't have him dart in the door because he will knock you over. He doesn't weigh half as much as the other dog, but he's 3 times as strong. And that dog's almost 100, well, he's probably about 130 pounds right now. But yeah, he's twice as strong. So can't have him dart in or out the door. That's part of the deal. So he needs to work. That's what he wants to work. He wants to go out. We need to get out. I better get off here a little bit and get my butt to work while it's cool, because it's getting real hot. It was 103. It's smoky out there. You can taste it. And oh man, it's tough. But anyways, good question. Thank you, LM. I know a lot of people probably struggle that today in society because they want, like, for your child to, not struggle with, I don't mean vanity, but, appearance per se or something. So, but again, I think my original thing will probably take it home. I think a woman is probably going to, maybe she might even prefer a man that's not circumcised, because she likes to stand at attention, or what she likes when he stands at attention. So, okay, moving on. But you're not under that covenant. We wrestle not against Ephesians 6:11. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord. May the power of his might put on the whole armor of God, so that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against powers, principalities, the rulers of the darkness of this world, spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore I say unto you, put on the whole armor of God. He gave you 2 witnesses right there, okay? That's the word. Pray on it, and he'll show you the hados, the narrow way, on what you need to do. But remember, it's not a covenant. It's not a covenant that we're under anymore of the flesh. There's nothing in this testament new. He covered that. He wouldn't have nailed himself to a tree, crucifying his flesh for the sins of the world, to save all flesh, to save the world. It was a contract, and he nailed his flesh like a piece of paper. Instead of it being a paper contract between a bride and a bridegroom nailed on a tree in a public place with 2 thieves, I mean witnesses, right? You had to go to a public place. A bride and a bridegroom had to be bound by the contract in the book of Deuteronomy, had to be taken and nailed. You had to nail your wife to a tree. I mean, a piece of paper. Boy, I'm getting this mixed up this morning. Maybe it's the coffee. No, I'm doing it on purpose, guys. You had to nail that piece of paper. He nailed his flesh. So we do not have to, brothers and sisters. Isn't that beautiful? Hallelujah. We're not under that covenant anymore. He made a new covenant. He divorced his bride, Israel, and he said he would have a new bride, and he'd lift them out of here. He was the snare that lifts us out of here. We'll see where your treasure's at, brothers and sisters, right? You can put your treasure here on earth or put it in heaven. Don't wrestle against this flesh. Dirt. I like how Brother Jim teaches it. Dirt. Don't go after dirt. God doesn't like us when we go after dirt. Okay? Dirt is, you're made of dirt. Everything behind me, this TV, or this telephone that you're on, laptop, I don't know what device you're on, what, tracking device you're carrying around with you, but don't need to chip anybody if everybody's carrying their own tracking device. You leave the house, you get half a mile. Oh my gosh, I left my phone tracking device at the house. I better go get it. So either way, brothers, sisters, try to remember. Sorry. But you see, I'm saying this is a contract that we're under. That's what he paid in flesh, nailing himself to a tree. That was the covenant with his bride. That is the one he will call out in that book. It ain't happening until he burns this place with fire. That is the gospel of Christ Jesus. New body, new flesh, new earth, new covenant. Only the meek will inherit and be from above. You must be born from above. What is above? It's inside you right now, not in the sky. God, your dead ancestors, and heaven is not somewhere above your head. The dead people are below you. God is inside of you. Your body is a temple. Your mother is your brothers and sisters in Christ. That is truly the temple, the flesh temple, but where it's not a temple over somewhere on this rock now. All that nonsense going on there with Iran and Israel, I rebuke all that. That's not under this testament. Back and forth, see, eye for an eye. I rebuke Israel, the physical nation of Israel. Yeah, I rebuke America. I rebuke Iran. I rebuke this whole world right now. We don't follow for thousands of years. We go after outside of our own borders, and that is not under this test. Oh, that would have been okay. Tooth for tooth. He comes and hurts your brother, kills his brother. You go back and kill his brother. That was the law, and that was okay, and it was not. You weren't under 613 statutes, commandments. You were not breaking those. But under this testament that he made, 2,600 plus years ago, we've been failing it miserably. Failing it miserably. I know, I'm a military veteran, guilty. Why do you think I have such bad PTSD? Because I know I made a mistake. So what? Come out of her, my people, he said. Learn from it. Help others learn from the mistake. I rebuke all militaries that are outside of their own borders right now. You're not under this covenant. God has come rain fire on this place very soon, brothers and sisters. He already is. He will burn this place with fire. He'll never flood this whole earth, the promise of the rainbow, but he will use water as his judgments. He'll use man, beast, and he'll use his most powerful weapon, and that is the sun. That white ball up there in the sky that's not yellow anymore, that I've been trying to explain to you the cyclical nature of how he makes these things work. Like I've been trying to get you to pay attention that when he was here on this flesh, he talked about a, prophecy about this destruction of this temple where we became this physical temple, right? No, it's spiritual. It was destroyed. He became Shiloh, the high priest of the church. Yeah, the one who will pass that judgment, lift us like a snare out of this place. I hope you're not building your house on sinking sand, this other Jesus, all this nonsense of this world. It should be quite obvious where we're at. I already explained to you the firmament declares, Psalms 19, the handiwork of the Father. It's declared, it goes across that line, across the earth. That's that ecliptic plane where it's telling you to look at where these celestial signs, celestial markers have been left that we're about to go back into. That was the same time where he predicted no stone would be left upon another. Nebuchadnezzar destroyed the temple 70 AD. 9 years later, we were in the alignment that we're about to get ready to go into in about 2 months. Might want to wake up. These same markers are being left again, and you don't even understand if the world is confusing you with all this space farce and nonsense. Have you believing in fallen angels and fallen messengers, whatever. Nonsense. A bunch of space farce. I rebuke Donald Trump with this ignoramus space farce. Nonsense. Brothers and sisters, pay attention. God is inside of you. Your body is a temple. Christ in you. Remember the Apostle Paul told us, if you have an outer man, cut it off. One man, one man circumcise it. And an inner man, the one that can't sin. There is light inside you, brothers and sisters. Christ in you. It's that still voice inside your head that's been there since you were a child. Disney likes to mock it and call it your conscience or Jiminy Cricket. That's called the Ruach HaKodesh. It's the Holy Spirit. That's why the Apostle Paul said, wrestle not against flesh. We're not under that testament. This covenant, I hope you're paying attention. These celestial markers have been left. We have already passed an age, just like at the time of Christ. We left a whole age. Year zero is what I was telling everybody, almost 5 years before it ever happened. Doesn't matter. It's documented. It's between me and the Father, but warning you of this year zero, this coming of this changing of this age. Welcome to the new age, because the world stinks like fish. Vesca Pisces. That was the birth of the king and the birth of the age. That happened back in 2 and 3 BC. At the time of Christ, we had that happen again in 2020. At the time of the bug, they reset the whole system already. All this world's waiting for all these things that he uses judgments. Man, beast, the sun, fire. I hope you understand it's already here. There once was a nation that was blessed. It's the Mayflower sign. You might want to study that in scripture about a blessed nation for 400 years. But that time is up. Do the math. I'm a math guy. He does all things by the number. He rested on the seventh day, right? Created the world in 6 days. No, he didn't create the world in 6 days. Do you believe that hocus pocus? You better study. You might want to go back again. Go see Grace and Truth Ministries, Brother Jim. He'll teach about the world and how it was not taught, created in 6 days. Well, a day on earth is as 1,000 years in heaven, or 1,000 years in heaven is a day on earth. So how is that, or day on earth is that, how are you to know the time, you could do the math too, but yeah, So I hope you understand. There are markers though. Remember Genesis, book of Genesis, for times and for seasons. So you won't be fooled by this world. There's a clock above your head. Clock above your head, and it'll tell you exactly where you're at in time. They'll have you believing something else, though. They got all these lunatics with their pagan lunar calendar telling me it's 2024. I'm like, I think I'm in a different world. I thought it was 5784. What do you mean? 360 degrees in a perfect circle, 360 minutes in a calendar. What do you mean 365 days? You lunatic? Oh, you going after this lunar Nimrod, Jesus? Terrible, huh? So, yeah, we'll know you by your flute there, Kevin. You think you're spinning around on a ball? Are you in that camp, huh, Mr. Flute? Speaking of blowing the flute, you'll know them by their fruit, brothers and sisters. Is that which camp you're in? I don't care which camp you're in. Flat, round, band, ball. Get out of here, Kevin. Pan, Mr. Pan. Go blow your own flute somewhere else. Moderators, Pink Floyd, Roger Waters. Get him up against the wall. No, just get him out of here. I don't sup with vipers. I don't cast my pearls in the mud. So either way, brothers and sisters, please understand this covenant. He tells you, love thy enemy like thy love thyself, like thy love thy neighbor. Put the word of God on them. That's what you do. You judge them. You do. You don't be like these lollipop, leaven, sweet, gospel, getting punch drunk, thinking they're not supposed to go around and, just be quiet about these things. He says partake in their be not part. Ephesians, once again, Paul 5 tells us, be not partakers in their unfruitful works of darkness. Do not hide that light. Do not hide that light behind a bushel. Shine it on that evil and put the word of God on them 2 times and then rebuke them if they do not want to turn back to the narrow way, narrow path. Don't sup with them. Don't cast pearls. You don't have to change a goat into a sheep. That's the beautiful thing. God already chose his bride. Hallelujah. The gospel, predestination, prohorizo, those he chose to pull from their imprisoned sin, darkness, flesh, darkness in prison, divided. He divided him. He is the only thing that exists, sovereign, without darkness, pure light. The way, the truth, the light is what he said. I am the hados, the aletheia, and the orizo. The only way to the Father is through that truth. The only way you're going to get there is casting off these works of darkness, this flesh, these things of this world. Do not partake with people who don't want to turn from their wicked ways, brothers and sisters. You don't have to. You don't have to change. God already chose. It's a one-time purchase. God didn't buy 2 times. One time from the foundation of the world, he bought his bride. You are already bought. Your works aren't going to get you there. Your works aren't going to get you there. Faith without works is dead, though, I can tell you that. Believe is not a thought in your head, I can tell you that. Days, 150 days, I know those are 15 days. Oh, interesting. I'm trying to remember back to that. So, boy, it's been a little while since I've studied. And no, boy, you talk about a biblical scripture throughout history. They cannot erase that. People who say they don't believe in any kind of higher power creator. That name, Noah, has been, oh man, how many different names does Noah have throughout scripture? But anyways, that event has been told time. Water judgments, as he will bring tides, a shifting of the tides. Tides change, right? A changing of the tides. How about a continental shift of the tides? You ever watch any of my videos? Putting out things that nobody else in this world is putting out except for one other. He always declares 2 witnesses, brother. It's just the way it happens. Yeah, that's the way Father works. Nail your wife to a tree? No. Remember, you had to have, just kidding, Ella. You had to have that contract nailed to the tree, top and bottom. You had to have 2 witnesses. He always declares 2 witnesses. Why do you think he had 2 thieves hanging next to him? Hello? Thank you, Father, so much for giving me the strength to sit down before my son went to jail, and I went to jail, and his wife went to jail. And before these police came and shot this house up and shot me, to talk to my son and hover over the word of God with him and tell him, son, we don't know what's going on. This makes no sense in our life. This should all be going in a different direction. God is doing this, son. Let God use you. No matter what, I'm telling you, son, don't falter on your faith. Don't falter on what I tell you. It's very important. I sat my son down knowing when, if you've been following me, when the situation before they came with their SWAT team and did everything they did out here, that I sat down and we hovered over the word of God. And I told him, you better let him use you, son. You don't know what God's doing right now. Who are you to say? Like that thief on the cross, son. The net not knows what it catches. It just does the job of the net. Be a fisher of men, son. Are you the vessel? Or are you the captain, son? Be the vessel. You understand what I'm saying to you right now? I talked to him, and I remember when they came, when they did their SWAT raid or whatever, and he called me on the phone. Dad, I'm not going to prison. There's no way. Because we had tried so hard to get the state of Oregon's attention. A live stream yesterday showed you I was calling the district attorney. I had called for, live stream for hundreds of hours, calling for years, trying to resolve this situation with this law enforcement, agency out here. And I'm not afraid of them because they're bullies. They're an Nephilim is what they are. And that's what Christ did. He stood against that halakha and the haggadah, the perversion of the law. And that's what they've done here. So I thank the Father that I was able to talk to my son when he called me, and I didn't have but seconds on the phone. I'm not going to prison, Dad. I'm not going to prison. Son, please, you got to go out there peacefully. I know this is not what we wanted to happen, but you got to be. Remember what I talked to you about before all this happened? Remember when I sat down and I talked to you about the thief on the cross, Elijah? Remember what I said, Dad? Remember what I said, Elijah? And then he went peacefully. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father, for the word of God, because I really think it kept him alive that day and going out peacefully, myself and his wife going peacefully too. I believe that he's not done with me. This morning, I really wish he would have, when I woke up, like I said, I woke up on the wrong side of bed. I said, man, I wish I would have just been taken out that day. Why are you having me here? I'm so alone. I can't talk to my son. I can't talk to his wife. I don't know. I'm struggling. It's hot. It's over 100 and some degrees yesterday. I'm still trying to do what it is that I'm doing out here. I'm more alone than I've ever been in my entire life. I'm without my son. I don't have, regular contacts like that. The only person, again, that I'd had what I really considered a friend that I didn't meet that much long ago, I think might have just done what everybody else has done to me in my life and been opportunistic and took from me again and took, like right now, I'm a little perturbed because I'm trying to get, my stuff together with, whatever finances and I would have had enough money, even though it might not have been that truck that I wanted. And I never even thought about it until this morning. And I don't mean to do that, but I'm a person, guys. I'm not a stinking android or a robot. I have this flesh I have to look after, and I'm not mad at anybody. This is between me and God. What I do is because God makes me do it. He leads me to do what I do. I don't do what I want. I do what God tells me to do. So I have zero regrets for standing in and trying to get this state of Oregon's attention and all these things happening. And then these people end up every time, I end up helping somebody helps themselves to my life and ends up my life turns completely in the opposite direction. It bites me in the back, and I'm not the only one to have that happen. I know there's many times you've helped somebody out in your life and they turn around and used it and were opportunistic and then took advantage of your, and that's the way we're supposed to be. So I'm not mad. I'm not at anybody. It's between me and God. And I'm more mad at myself this morning than anything, because every time I put myself in these situations, but I can't help it. It's what I've done. I've always, for decades, I said, I'm not going to let this world callous me. I just go back in life and I cannot think of a time that people didn't turn and burn on me, or so many times that situation, whatever that person did, has a massive effect in my life. They seem to get to walk away smelling like roses, and I'm the one that gets the stick dipped in the what. So I'm not upset, like I said, but just this morning it was like, since I don't get any income, guys. I don't have a source of income. I work for everything I have. And it wasn't, but this morning I was struggling. I'm going to tell you what I was struggling with. And it is what it is. And we, he tells us, wrestle not against flesh. So I told you guys, I have my own struggles too. My son, I used the precious metals, which was supposed to be a lot of things. It was supposed to pay off this land that I needed to get paid off, because I have 45 acres of land that I still pay on. I have 25 of them up for sale right now. Okay. That 5, I still owe a little bit. So I'm still paying on that land. And I pay on this one for 10 years. So I don't get Social Security, and I was sitting out here and it's like everybody I know gets Social Security. They get Social Security for one reason or another. I'm just saying that the people that I know, maybe it's some elderly people are, but it seems like a lot of this younger generation too gets Social Security as well. And they get it for mental, some kind of mental thing. And I tried to get Social Security for 7 years. I was a single father getting no child support, I'm also an honorably discharged veteran. And I don't get any veterans benefits because of my, I have an honorable discharge, but because of, the way, the way my life works and the way that the situation in my life works, the way God sets me up, there's massive effects. I'll put it to you in a nutshell. I joined the military at 17 years old. At 18 years old, I left. I went to my basic and advanced training in Fort McClellan, Alabama. I got into my advanced training and my wife called me, told me she was pregnant, which obviously wasn't my child. So I chose to have the child and told her not to abort the child. And if she'd mentioned that and thought that I'd be upset, but I wasn't. I ended up having the child born into a military hospital, gave him my name, went to full term, forced her to have the child, told her, if you ever say the word abortion to me, I'll leave you. It's quite contrary. The child's innocent. So either way, I had the child born in a military hospital. I gave him my name and my father's middle name and my last name. So about 6 months after having him and everything I thought was going to be okay, she just left, got on a plane and never came back ever again. And so that ended up biting me later in the military. I was, look at my record or whatever, kind of a super soldier or whatever. I did a lot of things after my wife, whatever, committed adultery. If you're 62 or older, paid in Social Security, you can get it. If you don't, maybe you didn't pay it. Yourself not paying income taxes. Josh, no, I already paid. I've been paying Social Security since I was 15. So not talking about that Social Security either. I was talking about going after the problems that I have. You're talking about SSI and SSDI. I was talking about my SSDI, and I have a massive. So thanks for your input, but that doesn't apply here. So what I'm talking about, there's a difference. I know the Social Security Administration. I even represented my own self when the judge told me I couldn't. I said, yeah, you're going to let me represent myself because you have to. This attorney didn't show up, and all these other two people out here have one, but mine doesn't show up, and nobody you have to help me through this case now. They got all mad at me, whatever, but came back. Oh yeah, you're right. Boy, so yeah, I do know the case. But yeah, well, whatever. I don't get military benefits either there, Joe. So you want to sit there and tell me some advice on my military? I'm an honorably discharged United States Army military veteran. I don't know where my wallet is, but I have an honorable discharge. It says veteran. I have it. I can't have it on my license. That means I turned my DD 214 into the Department of Motor Vehicles. They checked. I have an honorable discharge, and I still don't get military benefits either. Okay. I was a single dad, single parent for 8 years, and I didn't get a dime of child support either. Okay. Not one single penny. Although I had my son prior to that, most of the time I paid child support to his mom, and I had him most of the time. She didn't pay me a dime. I've been paying Social Security since I was 15 years old. I had my first job paying Social Security at 15. Taxes, Social Security, state, federal, all that nonsense. Okay, so I joined the military at 17. I've had a job since I was 15 years old. I have been self-employed, but I've had other work too and claimed and had businesses. So they just denied me. So, and at the time I was filing, guys, I was a single father, single dad. No, I can't go to the veterans hospitals, Ross. That's what I'm saying. I can't. I've never been to the VA. Can't go to the VA either. So, you know, my life is so different, guys. That's why I just want to freaking die. I don't even want to be here, to be honest with you. Nothing I ever do is like anybody else. Oh, you can do this, you do that. No, you don't know my situation. You don't. And thank you for your advice. I'm not snapping at you. I told you I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I'm the only person that I know that has an honorable discharge from the United States Army that does not get military veterans benefits. I was a single parent for 8 years. I fought for nearly 5-6 years, almost, you know, in court to get custody of my son, and then never got a dime of child support. Not a pencil from his mom during the school year, no play clothes in the summertime, nothing. I took care of myself. I've always been self-sufficient, been able to work, have my own business. I had to close down my business because I broke my back the second time. I have more physical crap that I can put on paper. It's there's obvious reasons. So what is it? Okay. What are you talking about, Joe? So either way, brothers and sisters, I get zero income and I make it by what I do. I'm a horse trader. Again, I fix and I barter and I trade and I sell. And, you know, what was it? 6 years ago, my own brother came, and like this morning, I was kind of upset because all my precious metals got taken again. I haven't bought any silver or gold in probably 4 or 5 years. Since almost my stuff got stolen, I bought a lot of that almost straight out the gab. Either way, this morning I was a little frustrated because, again, I was told when my son's bail was $100,000, I had to bail him out. You know, I wasn't supposed to have to sell any of my silver. The gold was supposed to cover the bail. There was other people that were supposed to be helping. I was told, helping, chip in. I know that he had sold a car. His wife had, a paycheck coming, had money. I just went and traded and drove all the way into Bend and traded a car that he had for silver. He had silver. He's the one who said, Dad, take all that silver that you have and go get that Toyota Tacoma double cab and go on the road. I'm tired of you being unhappy out there. I hate seeing you alone. I didn't know you had that much land payments out there. I just thought you had a couple $100. You got like $1,000, $1,200 worth of bills every month that you have to cover, and you have no money coming in, and you've been out there now how many years? I'm sorry, Dad, I don't talk to you about your finances. That's a lot to handle. I didn't know you had that struggle. I don't see you like that struggle, but I know you can't sell a $50 item out there. You make your way on the internet. You sell by fixing, and so I think you'd be fine on the road. Okay, Joe, look, you don't know my situation, so you're not going to help anything. If you want to help me out now, throw some of my money into my Cash App or my PayPal or something, or move on, Joe. I've already went and had a trial, went to trial and everything, Joe. So you don't know any of my situation. So I'm refiling for it again, but I'm going after PTSD this time, guys, just so you know. I've had these people from the Social Security Administration tell me, if you'll just tell them you're mental, Joe, you're not getting anywhere, okay? They didn't give me a reason. They just denied me, okay? Denied. Joe, pound sand, kick rocks, buddy. I don't care. I told you I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I ain't gonna take your crap. I don't care how old you are or what the hell you've done in your life. You're not me. You're not me, okay? You're not me. So you don't know my situation. I've broke my back twice. I'm an Army veteran, okay? I have plenty of history of having a record of destroying 3 car accidents in 13 months. Second time my back was broken. I got plenty of metal records, okay? Get out of here. You don't know your ass from a hole in the ground, and you don't know me, okay? In this situation, you don't. The reason is it's my life. Oh, the problem is my attitude. That's why I didn't get Social Security, is my attitude. Look, that's why they didn't give it to me. That's what Joe thinks. Joe, leave now, please. Don't put any more comments. If you do, I'll moderate you. Don't ever come back here, Joe. You're not helping. Okay, exactly. See, you have to. Goodbye, Joe. I don't cast my pearls in the mud, okay? Because of God. How about that, buddy? How about because of God? Do you ever think that it might be because of that? Nope. Never did you, Joe? It's between me and God. Don't you worry about it. It's between me and God. That's what you didn't hear earlier. Just, so, brothers and sisters, I already said I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. If you can't deal with me being a little salty, then please. I'm a veteran. I defended your right to free speech, and now I let you speak your mind, and now please leave. You know, you don't have to stay in here. You don't agree with me. You think I fucking like that shit? And I don't hardly ever cuss. You think I like waking up in the morning knowing that all my silver got taken from either my son's wife or the only friend that I thought I had? One of the two. Just like my brother who took all my 25 pounds of silver last time. Sorry, part of it. My son had some too. Took his and everything I owned. Everything I owned. Had to come back to just a tent. Joe knows my situation. Joe don't know nothing. Joe don't know diddly. So I'm just ranting, okay? Yeah, it's okay. I'm all right, guys. I don't normally wake up on the wrong side of the bed. I apologize for my cussing, but, you know, I'm a human being. So I'm frustrated. I wake up this morning and I think, because I was told I had at least half my silver left. Half of my silver. And I'm thinking my son told me to take it all and go get out of here. I wouldn't be dealing with this right now. But I stuck it out for him because I didn't want to bail on him. I didn't want to bail on my son. He's a good young man of God, and he has been double dipped. They're pissed at me. The probation and the district attorney, Ted Martin, and Michael Taylor, and Tom Rorick, and all these sheriffs out here, they're mad at Tracy Werner, and they're taking it out on my son, targeting my son to try to get, because they're pissed off because I live in this town and stand up to these thugs who are known for doing terrible things. If the news would have picked this up, but God didn't want it to. God did not want it to, or they would have picked it up. God would have let the news, and they'd have been out here with the media, and the FBI would have been out here. But instead, you hear me on the warrant go, I even called the FBI. I called everybody. I called everybody I possibly could. If you follow my situation, what is happening to me and my son makes no sense. Like me not getting Social Security. None. You know, even back then, I was a single parent struggling with a lot of still physical things and trying to do the best that I could. I owned my own company, a landscape company that I had to shut down because of my physical, and then they still wouldn't give it to me. I go around and see these people. Just a small check would change my life, and I'm not asking. I never wanted a check. When I went after Social Security, I said, I don't want a check every month. I want what I paid into the system since I was 15. Like I was telling Joe, I didn't want a monthly check. So I'm a little frustrated this morning because, man, if I would listen to my son, maybe something, it's between me and God. I pray for God's will. That's all I prayed for. They prayed for God's will. That's it. I didn't have an attitude back then. That was a long time ago too. It was like 7 or 8 years ago that I filed. And I didn't have an attitude. I mean, I told the lady, yeah, you have to represent me. And they weren't happy, but they didn't have an attorney there. The two other people there that day had one, and mine didn't show up. So I didn't wait 7 years to get a trial to have it postponed. So I knew the law, and I did. And so I told the judge, no, I know this. You have to represent me. You have to help me through this case. I'm here. I have a date. You're not going to put me off. I'm not. I know how to get into my records. I know how to represent all this. I've been a police officer, military. I've represented my son in a custody hearing more than one time. I know my way around a courtroom. And she took a recess and came back, and yeah, she was a little upset like that. And came back and said, oh yeah, you do. Like I said earlier, but I didn't have no attitude, you know. I just tell it like it is, brothers and sisters. Like somebody said earlier, I don't hide from anything. He said, do not hide that bushel, hide that light behind a bushel. So this morning I woke up and I'm like, man, I cannot believe, you know, that the only person that I thought was my friend burnt me. And so if half of my silver was left, which should have never been touched to begin with, was my instructions, as I said last time all my silver got stolen, sell everything I own except for my silver, is what I said. If I owe you $13,000, there's 2 brand new generators in a box. There's a 2 EU 2000s. There's a 3000 generator. There's a freeze dryer. That's just in one. I owe you $13,000. Part of that's not even my bill, and I don't even agree with this bill that I owe you to begin with for legal, but I'll pay you. Here's $200,000 for this stuff. Just give me my stuff back, and I can pay you off. But instead, I was enslaved for a year, and everything was taken from me. Everything was taken by my blood, by my brother, to include 25 pounds of silver. All my Second Amendment items, probably 25, 35, 40, 50. I don't even know, because some of it was hand done, just alone in just items that go in a Second Amendment item. Why do you buy all that all the time? Whatever. You buy what you buy. I buy what I buy. Oh, not to include my whole safe full of how many Second Amendment? Those items would have easily paid off my bill. But instead, they robbed me for everything. Came back to just a tenth. Never got a dime of that back. Same thing just happened. Went to jail because this whole SWAT thing, you know, or whatever. And, you know, somebody was going to chip in some money. They had money. And then I said, hey, you know, I got gold. You know, I don't like gold. I had it for this type of reason. Let me put the difference in. I'm tired of Elijah sitting here in jail. He was in jail with me. I could see him at the door every once in a while. He did not look good. He didn't eat for a couple days. So I said, take that gold and bail him out, but do not touch my silver. That's my retirement. That's what I'm supposed to pay my land off with. I don't get Social Security. I don't get disability. I never got child support. That is my way to pay this land off and not work for the rest of my freaking life. Please get them out, bail them out. Go get you've been saying that you're going to go get them there. Go get it. Well, they went and got it. And then, oh, well, we had to spend some of the silver. What? Okay, well, whatever. He's out. You bailed him out. His bail's $100,000. It's like 10 grand or something like that. His bail was. So I'm like, okay, well, how much is left? Cool. No, I'm doing, this is just a little rant this morning. Normally I don't even talk about these things. I normally serve the Father. So I'm like, so he tells me that half of it's left and that they had to go, and that his wife went and he went and picked her up and took her, and then she went and did the transaction and got Elijah out of jail. So I was really happy, you know. I mean, I wasn't happy that some of my silver had gotten, you know, because like I said, I work hard. I've got to eventually can't work every day I want to get this land paid off. You know, I wanted to donate it all to the church. I can't donate it to the church unless it's paid off. I have the title to it. So I was trying to donate at one point in time all this land to the church, but that's before I went to jail and have to use some of this, whatever I have to do, what I had planned on having, you know, my silver. I could have done something. So I get told that half of it's left, and that I'm like, well, cool, where's it at? You know, half of it's left. I'm like, okay, I see what happened with half the silver, with half, probably not even half, with the gold and half the silver, I paid for all of it. And then it kind of bothered me because I'm like, well, he didn't get bailed out till day 9. and they didn't use any other money. By the math that I got, they didn't use his money or his silver, or, and I'd asked and they said, oh no, they'd used his silver. I'm like, well, that doesn't, he wouldn't have taken half of my silver and all my gold if he'd used his. So whatever, I'm not tripping. I'm just like, it is what it is. What can I do? You know, this person had helped out before the last time, and I needed some help. They're the only person that I thought that, I had as a friend here. So, and we'll see. And it is, and I'm not accusing, we'll see, because it's one or two people this time, and it's always somebody, So, they, I get told that he goes and takes her, and they do that, and they get him out, and he comes and picks him up or whatever. And so he's got half my silver left, and I can't add this up because I'm like, wow, that's even more than the bail. That means that I paid for all his bail. And so I got a little frustrated back then. And I'm like, well, darn it, he could have been bailed out day 2. If you were just going to use all my precious metals, why did you wait and let him sit in jail one more day? You could have went and got it the same day, whatever, and had him out. His wife got out the next day, right? He sat in there for 9 days. I was in there for another 5 or 6 days. I sat in there for 14 days. But whatever, I was happy he was bailed out. So now I'm told that half, he went there and brought her there, and they did the exchange, and she went in and did the thing, does the exchange at the coin shop. Okay. But Elijah's out. So I'm happy. And then, so half of this is in like it's not even in a safe, but it's in a square container. Okay. Something you can carry around. And it's more than I had last time that I told you. Okay. That I had already had taken from me before. Okay. So, that's why when my son, when I showed him, what I'd had, he's like, whoa, you have a lot more than you had last time. I'm like, I've been working hard, man. I have to make this stuff back up. I don't want to work my whole life, Elijah. I plan on working my whole life, but not, I can't grind. I'm getting, my physical body is not going to hold up forever. You were there when the doctor said he ain't gonna walk if you don't go have surgery. So, and I can't get Social Security when a Dr. Phillips at Slocum says, oh, we're going to have to do surgery. We can't give you the cortisone shots, but we're going to have to give you 2 back surgeries. Whatever, Joe. So anyways, I call, and so he has the silver, and he has half of it, and he tells me it's in his trunk. And so I'm sitting in jail going, and he travels. I'm like, ooh, what the hell is this silver? My silver's just sitting in his trunk, because he went and came and got my dog. I don't want to give away, because I'm not going to mention his name. No, as long as I don't think he got upset because his name was mentioned. I want to mention his name. Yeah, pray for God's will. Zazzy, that's what I always do. Pray for God's will. That's why I think I'm where I'm at, because God wants this. So I'll get rid of this. I'll get off this rant here in a minute and go get to work. I need to get to work. So I go to pick up, and actually that leads right into this. So the person says, why are you mentioning my name online? Pissed off. Don't mention my name. He had helped me out here, and he said, I'm going to come get that stuff on the property that he has here of his, and I'll bring you your shit. Is what he said. I think it was his words, his message. I'll bring you your shit, right? Your shit. Well, he has my dog and my silver. So that's my shit, I guess. So, and I call him on it. I'm like, whatever, dude, and I try to get him to call me, and he turns around, and he makes faces. It's like, okay, I don't want to not be your friend or whatever. I'm like, whatever, man. I'm just, tell it like it is. You don't like it, I'll deal with the consequence of whatever happens. So, he keeps my dog for over a month, and like I said, I'm kind of patching him back together, and I'm not upset at him, but he's got his whole neck he was obviously very stressed out not being with me. His whole tail, look red and raw down the, when I picked them up, like you could see it look like it was like blistered, like a blister had peeled off, red, shiny, glossy red, from him chewing on it. His neck, he had, I'm still ticks in his face. And so when I went and I couldn't, I kept getting put off for another week. This person I thought that was my friend too, and has not come here since this has happened, checked on me. Hey, Tracy, doing all right over there? I know, because I was supposed to be the one you could not, I thought maybe he could be somebody who could let me know how Elijah was doing. Not, I don't want to have contact and break this order. We'll do the illegal thing until it's over, and taken care of. But, somebody might give me an update on what's going on in Elijah's life. Nothing. Nothing. So I drive down there, and or actually, I finally can go get my dog back. So I'd have to drive a couple hours to go get him, which was kind of sucked. And I know he had a little pull, but he'd been driving to fucking California back and forth. And every time he's driving down to California and back, but I can't get him to bring me my dog. Or I said I would go get my dog if I needed to, but I can't just go down there because he's not somewhere where I can just go get access to behind a closed gate. Can't go drive 4 hours or whatever, 4 or 5 hours, but end up, I'll meet you halfway or whatever. I go get my dog and go there, and I'll get full circle here with this. Say, okay, cool, all right. I'm so excited to see my dog, and I can tell I see, his tail, and I'm trying to just bite my tongue, and I'm so happy. But all right, okay, so like, hey, well, so where's my silver, man? He goes, I don't have your silver. I'm like, what? He goes, I didn't take it. Adriana took it. I'm like, you told me it was in your trunk and there was half of it left. Well, no. She took it. She took it. And she's the one who went and did the exchange, and I'm like, okay. And so I goes messing with my dog, and I'm like, because I had a funny feeling the reason he wasn't giving me my dog back because he didn't have the silver. So it kind of confirmed, and you can tell me, your opinion on this. I don't want to hear Joe about Social Security. I hope Joe's not in here. And so I call him on. I'm like, well, you said that you had it in the trunk. Why would you tell me that? And he goes on and says, well, no, it was her. She's the one in and did it and went and bailed him out. And I said, okay, all right. So I left it alone. The very next day, guys, he calls me and he said, hey, man, I found your passport in my trunk. I found your passport. My passport was with my precious metals. I had that in there with my precious metals. It was in a box, it wouldn't burn up, that type, He calls me the next day and says, hey, man, I don't know how it got in my trunk, but I found your passport in my trunk. Who has my precious metals? My son's wife or my friend, supposed friend? Calls me the next day and says, oh, I'll send it. I can't even leave the state of Oregon right now. Thanks, fucking asshole. I didn't say that to him. I was like, oh, okay, thanks. You can just send it to my P.O. box. And kind of confirmed for me that I was right. Feeling guilty that he had the box, he got the medal. Now it was like, oh shit, his passport was still in there. If I give him his passport, I've made. Because see, this guy, again, guys, I think this is the guy who helped me get my son out of jail when he got in trouble 4 years ago, starting this whole deal. And my son owes him some money, but that's not between me and, that was their deal. He had worked that out and so fine, whatever. I've helped this guy out in every way I can. He helps me out too, but I think he just helped himself. So it's kind of bummer, man, because I did say to him, because actually the last thing I left that out. The last thing I said to him was I said, hey, I said, don't worry about it, man. I said, I'll talk to her, you know, I'll talk to her. I'll get to the bottom of it, you know, and that's what I said. And I got my, you know, like I said, I didn't stay there too much longer. I know when somebody's lying to my face. So, either he's lying or I'm 100% wrong. But after I got the whole, you know, passport, oh, hey, I got your passport. By the way, I don't know how it got in my trunk. That's where you told me you had the precious metals, man. You know, you were keeping them there. So I'm kind of burnt, man. I don't have no friend. I thought I had a friend. This is my only friend that I had, guys. I mean, true, somebody that I've ever kept. And I only met him just a few years ago, you know, 4 or 5 years ago, you know, and only knew him through, I was selling Skittles, freeze-dried. I had freeze dryers I brought out here. Let somebody use my freeze dryer, and, you know, was doing some batches and selling them out here let people try them out. And that's how I'd end up meeting him. My son already knew him. So I guess this morning, I'm just kind of burnt because I'm like, now I don't have a friend, potentially. I can't talk to my son. And, you know, every time I get in these situations, because I'm helping somebody out, I'm helping my son, somebody helps himself to my things, you know. And I was just like, well, how much precious metals was left? You know, maybe I couldn't have bought that double tab Tacoma, but I bet you I could have bought the truck that I wanted, and I'd be out on the road right now. So I'm really upset. I'm really, really upset that I could be on the road right now, because maybe I couldn't have the vehicle that I wanted to get because I want my dogs to have the space, because they're all I have. They're all I have in this world. They've never cheated on me one time. They've never lied to me, stole anything from me. If I had a wife and I left because talk a lot and I go preach the gospel, I get, you know, away from the house, I'd be gone an hour, she'd be pissed. I'd be gone 2 hours, she'd be more pissed. I'd be gone 3 hours, she'd be more pissed. The longer I'm gone, the more excited my dogs are to see me. These women need to learn how to act. Freaking dogs act better than some of these women these days. Seriously. So they're all that I have at this point in my life. Like I said, they're the only ones who've never hurt me. So I don't want the double cab new one. I want the first or second year one. But I can't afford that now, because they took all my precious metals, bailed my son out, and then the rest of it was taken. But now I know that there had to be enough at least to buy, because I said, well, the heck with the double cab. I'll just buy a 4Runner, a second generation, old 92, 93, 90. I don't want anything new, guys. And have somebody modify that back, because I've seen them done, and turn it into a little double cab with a little pickup bed for like 5 or so. I'll just drive the 4Runner for now. And I could have bought that right now, and I could be going on the road and take a fucking break, because I need a break. I've been working out here for too long. 6 years after having everything stolen, I rebuild, and everything gets, you know, all my retirement gets wiped out. So I'm burnt this morning, man. I'm burnt. I want to do something, but my freaking brain is just, PTSD is bad. I'm upset, and I'm like, man, if I could just go on the road for 2 weeks or something, you know what I'm saying, and come back, I could get all charged up. I've even said that, but I've been trying to do that for almost 2 years now. So, and I shouldn't worry about things I can't change. And normally I don't. Normally, I've told you, I moved on, you know, from it, and it is what it is. And I'm not mad at the person who took them, my brother who took them from me last time, anybody. I'm mad at me, because I always get myself in these situations where I help people out and it ends up burning me. So, I just never thought about it that way. That, man, there would have been enough money left. Maybe I couldn't have got that, you know, 2001 or 2 truck that had 4 doors, so I could put instead of the dogs being right on my neck, they might have room to turn around back there, instead of being in the back of the truck. So that was my thing. And 4-ounce gloves in the back, the yard, get ones with the guy. What the hell? Huh. So I don't know. That just got me really, just like I said, just so frustrated this morning. I was just like, I don't even want to be here. I'm so tired. I don't know what I'm driving here for. I mean, I know I'm doing God's will, so that's all I can do. It's not like I didn't get a good life, so I'm not going to take it. I just don't want to be here today. Really wish I could go out on the road. And then I'm like, man, if I had just had the rest of that silver, I would have done it for me. I'd take it. So whatever I'm doing from here on out, not selfishly, I got to do for me, man. And I've already said that. So that's my plan. And I'm going to keep working towards that. And whatever happens, happens. And God will all do it in his time, guys. So not frustrated at anybody on this earth, not seeking no vengeance, not anybody in this world that I'm like, oh my goodness, why I'm mad at me, So I'm going to get to work here and go try to do the rest of this cabin that I'm building out here so that can be rented out. Hopefully I'll probably end up just having to move into it during the winter time. I think, the windows are still shot out in this cabin, and it'll probably be able to stay much warmer in there. I've insulated all of it, but we'll see. But I do need to get back to work on that. And that's why I wanted to come in here and just kind of let it go, because I was just like not feeling it today. I'm hoping he'll provide by somebody who I have 40 some things for sale on the internet, that somebody will buy something from me so that I can get my land payments at least paid for the month and figure out how to go from here. Because there's things I have to start thinking about, like firewood and driveways that, are not easy to drive in and out of during the winter months because I don't have them graveled and things like that, that I have to start thinking winter preparedness out here in the summer. That's how I have to do it. The summer doesn't last that long. It's August, and I still have a massive list of things that I need to get done out here, because when winter hits, I can't do concrete. I can't work on that storm shelters. I have 2 storm shelters that I'm building right now, trying to finish them, getting them buttoned up so that I can actually get them sealed up and do what they're supposed to do. So 3 cabins that I'm working on. Man, I'm just one guy with not even one person out here to help me. Man, I wish I could hire a laborer, somebody I can trust, but see, I'm getting around somebody and they're going to burn me. So maybe not. That's the way it goes most of the time. So my plan is get on the road. Oh, okay. Now I've seen what you're saying. So now I got the 4-ounce gloves. Well, no, I don't want to be physical with anybody in Chicago. I really don't. So I'm not concerned about that. I just want to get away now. I'm hoping that the Father will provide me a way to keep this property right here, maybe the 20 next to it. If not, I'll sell it in a second if somebody wants to buy it. I'm not holding on to any possessions right now. I need to get mobility in my life. That's what I'm lacking, and I don't have, and I need it. So that's what I'm working on and kind of been pressing with you guys on this channel to try to get mobility. Could you pick up and leave right now? The sun is active. It's in a solar maximum right now. It's doing a magnetic pole change. A shifting of the magnetism is going through that right now in the sun. Anytime the sun could, punch us, and that'd be it, for a while until they get their system back up. So if you had to go, and I'm not talking end of the world or whatever, but just get in your vehicle right now and go. Could you make it and get away from people? That will be one of your best ways to avoid chaos. Don't get away from it. Drive away from the chaos. Get away from it as far as you can. That's my plan. I don't want to fight with anybody. I don't want to squeeze triggers or throw hands or, I don't. I'd rather not deal with anybody. So I already pretty much live alone, isolated, and don't talk to people for months and months at a time anyways. So what's the difference between being, all alone out somewhere away from people, than what I've got living, how I'm living right now. So already live that way. I mean, I guess I live, I can go to town or whatever, but I don't have neighbors, or nobody very rarely comes to see me. And so I already live that way. But anyways, could you pick up and leave right this moment? You got half an hour to leave. Could you leave? Never go back to everything you have. Drive away from it and never look back. Could you do that? That's not easy to do, So, and where are you going? And what kind of mobility do you have? How far and how deep into the world do you want to, oh, don't worry about it. So, how are we doing, guys? Like I said, just woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning. See, that's tough. It's hard to do when you got 5 kiddos to look after, throw them in a car. How are you going to do that in a moment's notice? So that's what I need. I guess I'm blessed. All I got is 2 dogs. I ain't got nobody else to look after. God bless me. I ain't got nobody to worry about, but myself. If I do that more often, instead of trying to, I don't go back to bed. I got up at 4 o'clock this morning. I couldn't. Yeah, it's okay. I'll be all right. I'm working through it. I just, the hard thing the thing that I never thought about is, man, I just had the rest of my precious metals taken from me. I could have maybe, tried to pay the rest of my land off, but you know what? I could have gotten a truck. I could have got the 4Runner now. I know there's this nice 4Runner right now. The one that I'm looking for a particular model. I want a manual, and I want the older model, and I want the 22R. I don't want the 3.0 or the 3.4. I want the older motor. I want that old one. I don't want new. I want old. So I'm going to try to get like a 90, 91, 92, the first few years that they made those 4Runners. And I found a really nice one right now for like $4,500. What does this here make me money? No, I don't I haven't monetized my videos since I've been doing the evidential stream. So I don't make any money off this. I had a little bit, but that was more through donation. I probably made $5, $10, $20 in a month. More of it came from super chats and people donating to me than, so I don't make any money. No, I definitely won't get any money this month. I think there's $28 or something sitting in there. So I want to try to get that 4Runner now, and go on the road. But I know I'm not going to be able to, just like I couldn't get anything going. I don't know why. Everything is not selling. Yeah, I really wish I see so many people that have these trucks, and whatever, that's them, not me. Whatever, they got the life. Cool for them. But I can't afford a double cab. I can't afford anything right now, man. I can't afford anything because nothing is selling. I have the 20 acres of land for sale, less than $1,000 an acre. I have the 5-acre parcel. It's up for sale. My flatbed, my Zuzu flatbed, my motorcycle that I bought to take to the woods, I put that up for sale. The KE 100, really neat, rare bike, that's up for sale. I got lots of my so until something sells, I'm without a 4-wheel drive, and that's stressing me out a little bit too, because I know winter's right around the corner, and I don't have a 4-wheel drive, and I need one. So that's going to be my focus. That's what I've already been focused on for freaking almost 2 years now, really, to be honest with you. So we'll see if anything changes. So it's not for lack of effort. It's not for lack of effort. I have what I have up for sale, I can't leave the state of Oregon right now with this stupid court case. So as of right now, I'll have to stay within the state of Oregon. But honestly, guys, I don't think I'm going anywhere. God will provide if that's the case, because I'm putting in and doing the things I need to do. Has everything I owe up for sale. So just on vacation. I just wanted to take a vacation, McDonald. That's all. I just need a break, man. I've been out here for 6 years since my family took everything from me, my blood, and I rebuilt it all back. And now I just had all my precious metals taken from me. So I'm a little frustrated that at least I don't have if my friend is lying to me, then he's not my friend, and I'll know that here hopefully soon, and in a month or 2 or 3 or something, maybe this whole stupid court case will just get dropped. I think it will. I don't know. We'll see. They have to be able to provide me an attorney, and they haven't, and I'm 60. You don't want to know what the problem is today, guys? It's day 66. It's day 66. So day 66 since, this whole incident. So it's going by the number. It's a tough day. So Mammon is beating me today. Myself is beating me, because I'm like all frustrated that if I could have just had the rest of those precious metals right now, I wouldn't even bat an eye. I'd go take them to the coin shop. I don't care how much they would be in the future. And I would go get the truck that I need to go on the road for a couple of weeks. And I would, because there is enough time to take a vacation, just a mini, and get away. All I do is work. Like I said, I'm building 3 cabins. I've built in 4 years. It took me 4 years to dig a 50-foot storm shelter by myself. It's in the ground. The vacation is just go on the road. Just get away. I don't care. I can't leave Oregon. So I don't have an ideal vacation. My ideal vacation would be get the hell out of this country right now for a little bit. Go to Mexico. But I can't. I can't leave the state of Oregon. I can't even go to another state right now because I'm trying to help my son out. And now I'm facing felony charges and, whatever, all this swatting of my house and all that, whatever. I don't care about none of that. But they have to deal with it sooner or later, though, because they have to provide me legal counsel. And I'm day 66 since this whole incident, and they still don't have an attorney for me. So they only have 90 days to produce what is called a speedy trial. In the state of Oregon, they have 90 days, and they are not going to be able to do that. And so there's a good chance that they're going to have to end up dropping this case. So if that's the case, then, I might get that passport, because I didn't even give my P.O. box and have them send it to me, go take a vacation for a couple weeks and come back. I'm not trying to run away from anything like that. I will continue to stay and work on this property and work on what I have and continue to build out. I'm building 3 cabins. I have a 50-foot storm shelter that I have to finish. I'm not going to wait to do that next year. It has to be done this year. I have a whole nother storm shelter that I'm building to finish. It's a storm cellar that I need to house more food. I have too much food in the 50-foot storm shelter. I need more places to store it. And so I'm building 3 cabins, the Rusty Dragon, the Rusty Cowboy, and the Rusty Butterfly. I have 65 acres of land that I have to look after. My driveways, these animals, I live stream. I do a lot of work, so I'm a pretty busy guy. So I only have so many hours in the day by myself to get her done, if you will. So I'm my own worst enemy. So I'm not even concerned about that. Yeah. So I got you. I understand. But they still have to provide you an attorney, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm not settling for anything. They're going to do what I tell them, whether they're a public defender or not, or they all fire them, So I'm not concerned. They're not going to be able to provide me an attorney. Even if an attorney got this case right now, they only have, 66 days? Well, they have 24 days to produce a trial. Is that right? Yeah. 79, yeah. There's no way. Let's try. I called one of the largest attorneys in the state, in Deschutes County, Oregon, and spoke with, one of the, I know the attorney was on the line listening too, with whenever their legal, whatever, they reviewed the case. They went over, just send us $15,000. We'll take it. I'm like, yeah, you might want to look into what you're saying. You'll take first. Oh no, we can take it. Just send us the 50. Please look at this live stream. They looked at it and they said, we don't have the bandwidth bandwidth to take your case, because there's probably thousands of hours of live streaming, phone calls, possibly, 50, 60, 80 people involved in this case from the beginning, from 4 years ago. It's a massive case that they can't take to trial in 24 days. They don't work all those days. Remember, they only work 5 days a week, and they don't work very much when they're at work either. So not like my days count as 7 days a week, not working days. So they have 90 days from the date that they arrested me. They came out and swatted my house and shot my house up and tear gassed me and shot me in the face and shot my son and arrested his wife illegally, did this whole bullshit, raid when it could have been avoided. You've heard me, yesterday on the live stream, I was playing me calling Ted Martin's office, trying to get this attorney to talk about this before he signed off on the SWAT raid. So once these jury, if they ever got to take it to trial, looked at this, there would be no way they could get a conviction. The state has what is considered the burden of proof. And I have, under the right of discovery and the suppression of evidence, I know what evidence they have. If they're going to present new evidence, I'm going to suppress it. They should have already done that by now. I have the right to cross-examine all witnesses, all evidence, all that. I have the right of discovery to review all their evidence. And they've given me all their evidence, co-defendant as well. I know my way around a courtroom. I'm a prior law enforcement officer. That's why they're pissed at me, because I'm pointing out that they're crooked out here. I have a crooked police department. I'm the guy who's been standing up against it. So unfortunately, you try to help out your community, you get thrown in jail. So I'm that guy, guys. Normally when I try to help somebody, I'm the one who ends up getting the shit end of the stick. I'm just that guy. I'm helping my son out, and I end up getting thrown in jail myself. So have my house, how many hundreds of hours it's going to take me to repair, probably 100 hours at least, all the fencing and all the windows, tearing off both sides. And that's a lot of my time and money. The fencing's not cheap. They destroyed a lot. They didn't even have to destroy it, but give us your gate code and we won't destroy anything else. We don't want to ruin your property. Oh, just like you were saying when you were executing the warrant out here. Oh, Mr. Werner, we don't want to, Tracy, we don't want to ruin your property. Shooting out my windows. As you're telling me you don't want to destroy my property, you're shooting tear gas after you'd already shot me with a concussion grenade in the face. Yes. So you didn't want any. You wanted violence. You wanted to destroy this place, and that's what they did. And so I have to build it back, brothers and sisters. And it don't build it back by itself. All that costs me money and time. So it is what it is. See, but they get away with it. They don't care. They're all sleeping cozy in their bed. A bunch of yes man, state police failures, Lake County thugs. They're thugs. You know what I'm saying? But either way, brothers and sisters, I know what I did is righteous, and I know what I did is right. So I pay the price always. And so I'm upset right now because I could still leave the state of Oregon, or I could not leave the state, or I could still leave this property. I couldn't leave the state of Oregon, but I could get in a truck and go take a vacation for a couple weeks during these dog days of summer and come back. To this property. I have the neighbor will look after this and take my dogs. He'll feed the cats. I got massive water bowls. I have water bowls all over out here. I do not short water, and go on the road, but I can't because my own friend, who I thought was my friend, just lied potentially to my face, or he didn't. And I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but I don't know. I got your passport. I don't know. It just doesn't seem right. Doesn't add up. And I felt like I wasn't going to get it because didn't get my dog back because he didn't have my silver. And then when I get down there, he completely changes his story and does a 180. Well, now I don't even have a friend, and I can't talk to my son. I'm alone, and I'm frustrated, because I'm like pissed. So what is he doing with that? Now he's making it off my back. Why do people always get to take my stuff and get to live the dream? And I was like, Tracy, let it go. Let it go. You're all right. God will come back. Everybody that thought they got away with it, God will take care of that. Don't be mad I'm not mad at anybody, God. I'm mad at you and me, God. I'm mad at me more than anybody, because I don't want to wake up today and do a freaking thing. I have worked so hard for everything I have, and it always just gets ripped from me. So I don't care about any of that anymore. Actually, I don't want anything anymore but a truck and a little trailer in a way to be self-sufficient on the road. And I'll come back to use this as a base. That's my plan. I tried to make a homestead. I built, cabins out here to try to have people come out here. I lived off the grid by myself. I still live off the grid. Speaking of, go flip those panels over, guys. I better get off here. So that's what got me frustrated and got my PTSD flared up. And I'm like, I'm going to go rant online because I ain't got no friends. I got no family. I've got my brothers and sisters in Christ. So that's why I came on here. I don't have anybody. And I'm frustrated. And it's hot. It was 104 yesterday. And I worked in the sun. I just too much work and not enough play. I need to take a mini vacation back and I'll go to work at it real hard. So I thought, man, that dude just stole my 4Runner. Maybe I couldn't have had the double cab Tacoma, the first one, year 2 or 3, first, that's $10,000 or $11,000 or something, guys. It's not cheap. I don't own anything that expensive. I don't think I've ever owned a vehicle that's, well, my motorhome, but now they shot up my motorhome, so I can't even sell my motorhome. The glass, the windows out, it's up for sale, by the way, but I got to get the money out of it with all the windows shot. And so anyways, stop licking the couch. What are you licking the couch for? So either way, that's where I was a little frustrated because I was like, man, I could have had that 4Runner. Maybe I couldn't have the double cab Tacoma, but so now my precious metals, which could have gotten me out of here for a little bit, are being used for something else, and now I'm stuck here, and I still have I've come up with one land payment so far, but I haven't been able to get these other, that's like $400, and I've got everything for sale, and it's not that, it was like, why does everybody get the benefit off my back? I was helping my son out by putting up my precious metals. So I have the 5-acre parcel up right now for, what did I reduce it to? I originally listed it for $37,000. I've dropped $6,000 off of it right now. It's for $31,000 for the 5-acre parcel. The 20-acre parcel next to me is only $1,000, less than $1,000 an acre. I only want $39,000 for the 20. But that one is because it's right off the highway. I mean, it's right off Christmas Valley Highway. It's 2.5 miles from the school. Beautiful parcel, big, bridge along the side, cabin, homestead, taxes are about $100 a year on, I think they're less than that on that. I don't even, on that, it's included in the payment that I pay. So I don't know what the taxes, probably less than $100 a year for taxes, and power on both of the properties, not strung on the property, but touching power right at the edge of the property. I don't have any properties out here that don't have power touching the property. So even though I live at the very end of the property, where the very end of the power is at. That's where I live, at the very end back here, where the very last power is at. That's where I live. So, anyways, that's what got me frustrated. I don't even know what made me think about it. And I was like, well, Tracy, you got to let it go. They'll get theirs in the end. God will make sure, hey, you took that from Tracy and he really needed that. That was a time where he really could have used that, and I'm just kind of really frustrated too, because, I don't talk to my friend very often like that. We can go long periods of time, but he hasn't even come and visited me, checked on me one time, called on and asked how I was doing. You doing all right, Tracy? I know you can't talk to Elijah. You really don't have anybody. You don't have much resources. You struggle. I know you, for everything you have. You scratch to get everything you have. You build everything from a bunch of trash. You live in a house built of trash. Most of your property is trash. You make your house out of trash. You take other people's stuff and fix it up and turn it into something more, of value. Take a pile of sticks and turn it into, something. So, I need to get off here and go make some money and go try to figure out. I don't think I'll ever You know, I'm like, it's so frustrating too, because a lot of these channels and stuff that I watch, their economics, they keep talking about silver and gold. I'm like, I don't even want to watch it anymore. I don't care what the price of precious metals are. So I hope my son enjoyed getting his stuff bailed out. And this is a call out to his stepdad, Anthony Whitaker. You better be paying to get my son an attorney. Why you haven't stood up already and stepped up for my son? You know, you're supposed to be a stepdad and be taking care of him when his mom was doing horrible things to him. Anthony Whitaker, you better make this right for my son. You better get this right. You know, I can't do anything for him. And you're supposed to be a stepdad, remember? Remember where you failed him miserably? I don't know if my son watches these or not because I can't directly talk to him. I don't think he does, guys. I don't think he'd even come on here. I don't think he'd even chance it because he's been doing exactly what he needs to do, or I wouldn't be helping the kid out. He's a young man, but he's, you know, he's my kid, you know. And if he wasn't a righteous man and didn't deserve to have, you know, not deserve, it's just so he's with his stepdad right now, and that man should take care of, you know, there's a history there. That's all I can tell you. And that man better buck up very quickly. When this all ends, I'm going to have, and I'm not threatening the man. I've never threatened physical violence. He won't even talk to me. I'm going to speak to him in faith. He don't want to see me. He always leaves. Anytime I'm around, he won't. I want to speak with him in person. I'm going to have words with him, and they're not going to be nice words. And I'm not threatening no violence or anything, but I'm going to tell you the truth to your face. So if you're watching this video, you get this video, I've never addressed him there, Anthony Whitaker. You better get my son an attorney. You better do whatever, you know, you need to do. I don't know who he has to help him over there, but I don't have any idea what's going on with him. I don't know what's going on with my son. I know he doesn't have an attorney. He had an attorney and he fired the attorney he had, obviously, because he wasn't doing his job. My son wouldn't fire an attorney if they were doing their job. So now myself, my wife, my son's wife, not my wife, I don't have nobody. And myself don't have an attorney. We're 66 days since the day of the arrest, 3 of us, and not one of us have an attorney right now. It's insanity, guys. It's insanity. So hopefully this all ends soon. You know, August, they don't have so many days. They're going to have to drop the case. I don't know if Elijah, since he bailed out, if he signed over his rights to a speedy trial. I don't even know if Adriana knows to not sign over her rights, waive her rights to a speedy trial. So they're getting low on time. You know, it's day 66 today, guys. 66. They have 24 days. Tomorrow's 23. They don't matter. 22 on Monday. 22 days starting Monday to take this to trial. And the largest, you know, one of the largest attorney in the state of Oregon said they can't take the case. It's too big. It's too big. Too much bandwidth, too many people, too many contacts, too much internet. I was way too much streaming, too many hours on the internet before this incident. After the incident, they just don't, it's all evidence. So they don't have the ability. So hopefully it'll get dropped soon. The only way I'm settling it, though, is they can drop my case. It's fine, but I'm still going to pursue. I've tried, McDonald. I have. To go back, and I tried for 287 hours of live streaming, having all of you guys, too, around the world, people from all over the world. I actually was getting a pretty good following on this channel. It was growing tremendously during that time as well. I don't get any more growth. The channel's been all locked down. So I've tried. I've called. Even you think after they came and swatted my house after all of this, the story behind, you guys, there's a story behind this, and I haven't been hitting on this, but the state of Oregon, this isn't the only county that they've been releasing people after 7 days. They have 7 days to let you out of jail in the state of Oregon. if they arrest you for a crime, I don't care what your crime is. If you will get arrested, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. These are your Miranda rights. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot, during questioning, if you cannot afford one will be appointed to you. They will appoint you an attorney. They'll give you legal public pretender, a defender that works for the state, like somebody said earlier. They don't work for you. They work for the state. They're loyal to the judge. But they still have to give you one. If they can't, they have to let you out of jail in 7 days. They didn't let me out of jail in 7 days, brothers and sisters. They kept me in jail. Illegally kept me in jail. Without legal counsel. Actually, the attorney that was representing Elijah, that he fired, was representing me at the time, and you cannot be co-defendant on the same case. That's illegal. His attorney was representing me, telling the judge, Vanderburg, you better let this guy go. Under this Ninth Circuit ruling, you keep him more than 7 days, 7 days, you're keeping him illegally. You're going to ruin the whole case. So they didn't let me out for day 8, day 9, day 10, day 11. And remember, I don't have a record. I'm an honorably discharged veteran. I pay taxes in this county, on this land. Like I said, even the people there was other people in jail. They're like, there's no way. You're crazy. I thought you were crazy at first, saying they were targeting you and stuff. And I know your case. You're crazy just to stand up. Nope. Day 66, no attorney yet, Vanessa. No attorney. So, yeah, it's getting quite, it's funny because I'm telling him, hey, I don't have a record, you wrecked my house. My animals are probably dead. You shot up, there were kitties in the house. My dogs were in there, 5, 6 tear gas. I have animals. Are they roaming around? I don't know. I can't have contact. Only contact with one. I had no money on my books. I can only talk to the one person, that guy that ended up taking all my stuff. Oh, gee, that's why it happened, huh? I couldn't talk to him. He said the guy could take my stuff, potentially. And just that one person. Nobody else could put any money on my books. You remember Keely was in here. She faded off, but Keely tried to put money on my books. Nobody could. So I couldn't talk to anybody. I didn't know what was going on with my property. I know all my. I was told that my door was left wide open. I didn't know, like, oh crap, well, I'm gonna lose all my stuff again. I didn't realize till I got home. It was so bad, so many tear gas. I didn't think it was in the moment. That's how bad it was. But I was asking him, let me out. Please let me out. I need to get back to my animals. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not a flight risk. I'll go right back to my location. And they wouldn't let me out. And so even Elijah's attorney said to the judge, Vanderburg, man, every other county is letting people out in 7 days. There's a big issue with having enough. There's more crime being committed in Oregon right now. It's not just Oregon. This is throughout the United States, guys. But it's bad here in Oregon right now that they are only 2 legal attorneys down here for the whole second largest, county in the state of Oregon. And so they didn't let me out until 14 days. They kept me a whole extra 7 days, which is illegal. That's why those guys are like in jail. They're like, oh, wow, they really are targeting you, man. That's the stupidest thing that this judge, Vanderburg, and Ted Martin, the district attorney, could have done. You have somebody who's pointing out police corruption within their department from the top down, and then you legally keep him in jail for an extra 7 days. I think that's proving that you're targeting. So there's so many screw ups, guys, in this case that there's no way they could take it to trial. The only way I will settle, I mean, I got a hair in my nose, or the mustache here sticking up. I will completely settle as if they drop Elijah's case. Otherwise, I mean, they can drop my case, that's fine, and his wife's case, but this isn't over. I didn't stand in front of the 180 hours to begin with and get these charges just to have them dropped. And I think that's what they think they're going to do now, guys. I honestly think that's I said that what day they were going to swap my house, when, what time, and I'm not a prophet, but I can see, what's going on here. And I can tell you at this point in time, unless they pull something really quickly, which I don't, maybe they'll try to give me an attorney at the last second and give me a plea agreement. And I'll tell them to kick rocks, pound sand, dismiss the charges. You only have 2 days or 3 days from my next court date. If they try to do that, which I don't think they're going to do. I already told them, give me an attorney and have the attorney say, hey, we dropped your charges, because you cannot drop my charges. They can let it expire. Then they legally have to drop them. But they can give me an attorney, public pretender, and say, hey, we're giving you a public defender because we can't even negotiate with you right now. You don't have legal counsel. Your wife does not have legal counsel, or your son's wife does not have legal counsel. We cannot negotiate with her right now. I know she doesn't have an attorney. 100% know she was without legal counsel. Yep. So they're going to have to, it's going to expire. And I think that's what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to let my case expire, Adriana's case expire, and then try to still pursue their charges with Elijah. I'll just do the same thing again. I will. I'll go find him, and I will take his body, and I won't let the courts have him again. I'll do it again. I said I wouldn't change a damn thing. I'll do it again. I'll get on the phone with the head of probation. I'll call Lake County. I'll call Lane County. I'll call the sheriff's office, just like I did last time, and said, if you issue another legal warrant for his arrest, I will arrest his body. My arrest is warranted. Yours is illegal. I'll do it again. Because I won't not be able to have contact with him. So I'll find him, and I won't let you have him. Just like I did the first time. Just like I said I would do. I'm a man of my word. I keep my word. When I say I'm going to do something, I do it. Come hell or high water, I'd make it happen. So I called Lake Lane, Ted Martin, all these people, and told them that I was going to do this, especially Kresha Brunsman, the one who issued the warrant for his arrest. Revoked his probation and issued the warrant, had, pushed this through, and told her, if you think you're going to arrest him again, because you already arrested him illegally, I'll make sure I get a hold of him before you do. I'm his father. I know him better than you. I'll take him, and I will arrest his body, and I won't let you take him and put him in jail and kidnap him again. And that's what I did. So they better drop Elijah's charges, or this will not stop. You're not just going to let it expire. I don't just expire when I do something. I finish what I say I'm going to do. Might take me longer than I originally intended, but, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, so I don't think so. I told the state of Oregon, I told Lake County, Lane County, that I would not have let them take Elijah and put him in jail. And they eventually came here and swatted this house because of it. So look into the issues, though. Look into why, and look into all these other reasons. You'll see they didn't have any legal reason. I got charged felony. I got 3 felony charges, 2 counts of hindering prosecution. Prosecuting? Who the fuck are you prosecuting, assholes? Can't prosecute my son illegally. I can stand in front of a legal prosecution in the Constitution of the United States. I don't have to go by a law that's unconstitutional. And you're trying to sit there and pursue unjust. Don't act like the system is all perfect. You double dip my son, and I'm not allowing it to happen. Remember, I was standing in front of that asshole by some man who couldn't keep his cock to himself. Cock blocking the state of Oregon and cock blocking Lake County. I am the cock blocker. Yeah. I don't want my son's ass to get raped by some man because he's the new kid on the block, because he can't keep his phallic to himself in prison. Don't act like it don't happen. That's pretty serious to me. Serious enough for me to stop my whole freaking life and end up with interfering with a peace officer interfering. You're interfering with my life, my son's life, his wife's life, and we're going to sue the hell out of this county, state, and every one of these public servants for their jobs. They don't serve in law enforcement anymore. They're bonded. So I'll be suing their bonds, as I told them that I would. And I might not be able to get an attorney to take this criminal case, but if I say, hey, look, here's the case, these charges dropped, they're going to, oh yeah, oh hey, we want some of that. I don't think I'll have any problems getting an attorney for a lawsuit. Don't think that'll be too big of an issue. But I got to push through this first. So, just a little break would have been such a huge deal for me, guys. But I don't think that's going to happen. So speaking of, let me get off this thing and I'll go get my tail back to work. Put my shoes on here and actually probably feed these mules. I'm going to feed my animals here. And thanks for listening to my rant. Like I said, I'm just so frustrated with myself that, I'm such a loner. I only got one friend. The only friend I have, I think he just burnt me. So I hope I'm wrong and I look like an asshole and I just accused my friend of something he didn't do. But I don't know, man. Hey, I found your passport. I found your passport, man. I don't know how it got in the back of my trunk. Maybe because that's where you told me the fucking box of silver was at, and that half of it was in there. Where did the other half go? Oh, that's not what that's what you said. So I'm just frustrated. I got lied to, guys. Either it did, or I'm making it up, or it's all in my own head. And his wife has it, but why is she online selling books? Wouldn't she be trying to sell precious metals online if she had his precious metals? My precious metals, her precious metals. They had precious metals too. What the hell, man? So I'm frustrated, man. I had one friend. Just one friend. And if I'm right, how do I continue to stay friends with somebody like this? I'm getting you. I know you're hungry, guys. So, feeding the dogs, guys. That's where I'm at. I'm just super frustrated. I'm like, well, damn. Maybe if that wouldn't happen, I'd still have a friend, and I could go get that Forerunner. I don't want, it's not, whatever. So what? I didn't get the, hold on, I'm gonna sit you down here. I didn't get the truck that I wanted. Big deal. So what? Look at that. Oh, we got a panel coming down there. I'm going to get up and try to finish that roof too. I already fed you, kids. Feed this guy puppy gravy for the kids. All right. Let me grab my water here. I gotta switch these solar panels. Hi, kids. Hi, kids. Great girl. TP. Hi, girl. That's mama girl. Yeah, not too much sun here today because look how, it's not as smoky as it's been, but I can't see, you can't hardly see the Table Rock. See how smoky it is over there. You can't see the mountains over here. It's so smoky over there. Oh, I'm gonna change these panels here. Give me 1 second. All right. I'm going to show you what I was working on yesterday. Stay on here for another minute or three. I'm going to let these... That's all right. I'll be back. Use two hands here. All right, going over to the cabin here, the rusty dragon that I've been building out. So yesterday I was working on this backside, and that's what I need to work on today. I need to get to work here before it gets too hot, because it's already gonna burn off that cool morning. Don't take long out here in the desert because we're at 4,500 feet with that sun. So set these over here. I'll show you guys, and then we'll end the stream. Okay. So yesterday I was working on this end of the, like this here. I'm gonna make it match this side. I've got them strung in this horizontal direction. I'm doing the same thing back here, and doing the same trim so it'll match. I am breaking in the middle. I was off by just a hair. I'll fix that though. So I'll be running that all the way over to the front like this right here. So this is what I was working on, getting the second one here strung, getting this other one over here. Got all these ones up here yesterday. So I need to finish, go over to the other side, and then I'll have to cut all these to go up inside and fit up inside of this top area here. So that's the mission for this morning, is to try to finish that up. I don't know if I'll get it done or not, but I'm going to try. We'll walk over to the front. I'll go show you. I did a little work, did some rock work yesterday too. I did concrete. I did the front entryway. Not sure if you guys can see that I redid these, put more concrete, kind of like a kicker on the front of that, and then redid some of the concrete that had split out. And so that front door came off and split apart on me, so I rebuilt. I did this as a metal corridor that I've painted to look like it's, you know, whatever, like it's wood. It's just, you know, it's metal. So, but until I can get a replacement door for it, this is the door. Did you go in there, girl? Come out of there. What you doing, girl? What's a tight fit, boys? She's a tight fit. Look at that. But that's my makeshift door to try to make it look like it's wood and old. What do you think? I finished it yesterday and finished painting it. So that's, and it'll fade a little bit. It won't be quite so dark because it's facing this sunny side of the sun will come up. So that sun will beat that color down just a little bit. I bet you in about a month or two that won't be quite so bright, but we'll show you the inside of the door. It's just a white door. I took it and painted it and try to make it look like it's wood. Here, I'll go inside and show you the other side of the door. See, this is the kind of door it is. It's just a white door. White door, wood door. What do you think, guys? Did I pull it off? Cool. So yeah, I just painted it on there. So yesterday I was working too. I added some more to this inner. This is all rock. I don't know why it doesn't show up in here. It's so dark, but I also added this rock to this back portion of the kitchen, and I realize it doesn't really show up. I like it in person better, but I added this rock to the kitchen here as well area for kind of like a trim, and I'll run that up through and it'll go up into the loft area and it'll trim that. There's a beam behind there. There's a beam, but I want to trim that like that. So that will go up there, and it's this same rock that I have here that I've been working with. You know, this actually, when the other install, it was all it's installed the other way, horizontally, like these here. I decided to go vertically with it because I got a lot of things going vertical, right? You know, everything is vertically. I bought it from a lady who had helped to do it. Took it down out of another job and ended up buying it from her. So, but yeah, this is all tin. Like this tin here is like this rusty tin here behind us here. This is the would be the south side of the building, and they all the way to the end here. So look at it from here. I'm working on the loft. I'm trying to get to that today. There's the pile of rock that I'm working with right there. That was a big stack when I started. But anyways, this is what I got to get done out here, guys. This is, like I said, this is what hopefully will start paying the bills for me. So I'm going to string this big chain and make it like a border, like a picture frame. I don't think it's going to go all the way around, but this is a big, heavy chain. It probably weighs over 100 pounds. You can see how big. Well, there's just metal. It's all, I told you, I build this all trash. This is all normally stuff that gets thrown away in the trash. It's burnt. People build other things with it, but I'll go look up the loft. I got to do the loft here. So I got to finish the loft up here, but this is the lofted bedroom. And you'll be able to come up here. I'll eventually put a skylight in here. Thought I was gonna put this through here, but the ladder, but it's just too narrow. I mean, if I'm have a little bit of a struggle getting up there, somebody who's got 100 pounds on me is going to definitely have more struggle. So a little bit of blocking to do here on this area. I'm getting in the home stretch though. I mean, it's taken, here's the floors. You can see the floors here. Those are all just repurposed. So little shot, still have that wall to finish as well. Got the lid to do. So, but it's getting there. It's getting there a little bit at a time. So, what are you doing, girl? So, I'll be building a shower room and into this room. I'll extend this wall up here, and this will all be a shower room. There'll be a door, and you'll be able to go out and take a shower in here. I actually plan on ripping the top of that off, and I have some big doors. They were old doors, and I'm going to put slider doors. Actually, I'm going to turn this roof. I'm going to make the roof of this building out of this window. See this? That's what I'm going to make the roof on this building. So you'll be able to see up inside here. It'll let all that natural light, and I'll put that's a shower room right there. That building is a shower room, and the top of it has windows for the roof. This one right, where am I at there? There. The roof will be windows. That has windows on both sides of that. It's an outdoor shower. A lot of people think it's an outhouse, but it's not. It's an outdoor shower, and the windows in it are. But anyways, boy, look at this stack. It's going down, guys. It's going down. That used to be a big stack over there. Slowly, home stretch. So, but anyways, this is what I got to finish up today, guys. Actually, I left the dogs in there. I got to go over there. But I'll finish this up. I'll give you an update later or something on this. I'm going to trim this all the way down. Go all the way down here. with these, and then I got to do the top so it'll match this this side over here. It'll look just like this side, except it doesn't have a bottom trim on it. So anyways, all right, there's a shot. I thought I'd come give you guys a little update on what I was doing yesterday. Try to get as much as I can done out here. Like I said, just got too hot. It got 103 or 4 degrees out here. Sun was shining directly on me. I just couldn't stay going. So I did stuff inside of the building and in there, but called it a day after about 6-7 hours of working. So got to get 6 or 7 hours in today as well. Things don't happen out here by themselves. I have to do it all. Unfortunately, with these calloused, that's my left hand, by the way. That's not my right hand. So got more calluses on my right hand. So anyways, thank you guys. Cool. All right, much love, you guys. Thank you so much for coming in. Let me rant. I feel a little better. And thanks for your comments and support of this channel. If you want to leave any kind of donation, there's some information on PayPal and Cash App. That's the quickest way to support me and to support the channel if you want to support it in a financial way, so monetarily. It's not required. I'll be back again sometime, probably before the end of the day. Much agape and phileo, and stay busy out there, guys. Summer's not going to be forever, so start thinking winter. Start thinking winter now. You're supposed to think about the winter. You're supposed to go out and buy all your wood stoves during the summer when they're $150, not $350, $400 in the winter, right? Go buy air conditioners this winter and sell them during the summer. Start thinking about winter. It's coming, guys. It'll be here before you know it. So enjoy the days, and I will see you guys on the next live stream. All right. Always agape. I am apocalypse. I am revelation. Whoa.